Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 374. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is 3 emerging industries entrepreneurs can get rich in right now. 3 emerging industries entrepreneurs can get rich in right now. And we're talking about businesses that are on the upswing or on the uptick, emerging industries. Now, before we get to today's show, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family, and please stick around until the end of today's show, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses, and also several platforms I've created to help circulate the worldwide black dollar, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. Also, I want to mention my new rebranded, rebooted BEBacademy.com. So I have all of my online programs, courses, trainings, and tutorials in the academy. So go to BEBacademy.com. You get 5 days free access to the academy, and you have access to everything in there. So it's a try before you buy. So let's get ready for today's show. On the show, I always talk about being on the cutting edge or being in the forefront of things. And so as Black folk, we're always on the cutting edge when it comes to entertainment or athletics, but we need to really start becoming on the cutting edge when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. A lot of times we're always behind somebody else and we're following the trend as opposed to creating the trend in entrepreneurship and business. And today I want to talk about 3 emerging markets or opportunities that I think are still in their infancy and they have a lot of room for upside. And what we're going to do, we're going to discuss things such as some of the statistics, what's going on right now in these specific industries or these opportunities. What are the trends? Why is it a burgeoning market? What opportunities are available? And of course, how do you make money in the market and how do you get into the market? And these are in no particular order. So the first market I want to talk about is the EV market or electronic vehicle market. Now, the trend for sustainable energy and clean energy obviously is in the forefront right now. Joe Biden is out there talking about certain measures that he wants to take. And a matter of fact, I believe he said that he wants to have by 2030, half of all U.S. vehicles transition into electronic vehicles. So that's the goal. Also, I was reading a story in Scientific American magazine that 90% of U.S. cars must be electric by 2050 to meet the climate goals. Now, we don't know if we're going to meet those goals, but as you can see, the trend is for clean energy. And one of the reasons I think that the U.S. is actually lagging behind China and Europe with electronic vehicles is because of big business. It's the oil companies. And it's so crazy to me because this is a new burgeoning industry, and I understand they're going to have to transition from gas-powered cars eventually into all-electric cars, but it's a burgeoning industry, and this is something that we can take hold of. So here's some of the statistics for you. So according to a report by Deloitte, the global electronic vehicle forecast is for compound annual growth of a rate over 29% over the next 10 years. So total EV sales growing from 2.5 million in 2020 to 11.2 million in 2025, then reaching 31.1 million by 2030. And EVs would secure approximately 32% of the total market share of new car sales. So by 2030, they're looking at electronic vehicles to be approximately 32% of new car sales. So when I'm talking about opportunities, I'm not talking about you building your own electronic vehicles. Now, if you have that capability, hey, more power to you. But there's other ways to make money in the market as opposed to building cars, obviously. So there's ancillary services and products that you can create that will help you make money in this market. And we're going to talk about them, such as EV charging stations. And when I say EV, it's just electronic vehicle. EV charging stations for residential and commercial locations. Also service and repair for batteries and charging stations. And also, guys, if you take it a little deeper, you can build out your own charging lots. So if you have a parking lot, right, you can put charging stations in the parking lot. If you're into the installation aspect, you can go and put EV chargers in store or retail parking lots. So, I know a lot out in California. If you live in California, there are tons of them out there. When my daughter was living in LA, they had tons of them in her parking garage at her apartment. So you can do installation or service for that. So just think about that. Garages, stadiums, shopping centers, malls, anywhere that cars park or going to be for a period of time, then they're going to need to have electronic vehicle charging stations. I was reading in a convenience store magazine about how now that they're predicting the difference between a successful convenience store and an unsuccessful convenience store is going to be the number of charging stations. And yes, you're not going to be in a convenience store for a long time. But once again, while you are there, you can charge your vehicle up. And so think about being able to go out and install or service these electronic vehicle charging stations to some of these big retailers. They're going to need to have and install these. So let's not sleep on this, guys. This is an emerging industry. And like I said, you don't have to be manufacturing the cars. Now, if you can, more power to you. But there's a lot of ways you can make money in this industry. So matter of fact, government contracts. So right now, there's an increasing investment by the government here in the USA and across the globe to develop these charging stations. And so now you can look at government contracting. And once again, as a contractor, you don't have to do all the installation. You can be the general contractor. You sub out and you hire the people to do that. So now you're looking at not just the industry itself growing, but the government supporting that growth by trying to create the atmosphere that we need more electronic vehicles on the road. Now, people are going to probably ask, well, hey, Jay, how do I get into this market? And so here's a couple of things that you can do. You literally can go on Alibaba.com, Alibaba.com. Also, guys, all the links, I'm going to give out a lot of links today. Everything and all my show notes and all the links are going to be in the BEB Lifestyle newsletter, which comes out twice a week, every Monday and Thursday morning. So if you're in the car right now, you're running, you're jogging, you're lifting weights, and you can't write down all this information, make sure you go to the website, go to BEB Connect, and you'll see a link where you can sign up for the newsletter. So all this information and all of the links I'm going to talk about today are in the newsletter. So make sure you sign up. So once again, you can literally go on Alibaba.com, Alibaba.com, and you can actually buy charging stations. You can buy residential charging stations and you can buy commercial charging stations. Now, there's some on there as low as $80, and obviously that was a residential one. So if you have a Tesla, and I know Tesla has a specific charging station, but if you have, an electronic car or anything, now, as this continues to grow, people are going to need to charge their cars overnight. You can literally buy a list of Tesla auto buyers, and you can go and try to sell them on installing a home charger. And so these are the type things that you can get into this market. Let's talk about some other things. They have some dealership opportunities. They also have, there's a dealership and a public charging opportunity by a company called Future Energy. So you can be a dealer for them, where you would install those their Future Energy charging stations. They have another company that's in aftermarket repair, and it's called the Hybrid Shop. And the link to all of these guys is in the newsletter, okay? The Hybrid Shop. So you can have battery repair, cell repair. So it's going to be a whole different ball game. And so now the auto shops are going to, you're still going to have your tires and all that other stuff, but you're going to have a different type of product base now that you can service and repair. There are going to be electronic vehicle dealership opportunities out there where car dealers, all they're selling is electronic vehicles. You have the charging dealerships. So one is called Blink Charging. And then there's another one out there that's called, what is this one called? Charge Point. So if you just Google EV charging station dealerships, so you can go out and you can actually work with the company that has the equipment already, and you are a dealer for them. So there's really a low barrier of entry if you want to go to the dealership route. But if you want to go the individual route, you can go on Alibaba.com, buy residential charging stations, have them installed, or if you're a contractor, you can install them yourself, and you can buy a list of people that already purchased electronic vehicles. So I'm telling you, don't sleep on this industry, guys. So there are ways to make money in this industry as an entrepreneur, but also don't sleep on investing in this industry. So this is an emerging market. And once again, the U.S. is actually lagging behind Europe and China with electronic vehicles. And so there's an opportunity there. So let's be at the forefront of an emerging industry, a growth industry, and take advantage of it. So those are the way that you can get into the electronic vehicle market. I think the easiest way and the quickest way to make money in this industry is by installing residential charging stations first. Now, if you're not a contractor, once again, you may have to hire a contractor to do the installation. So you can also buy the chargers and sell and install them in commercial facilities also. Now, if you want to go larger, then once again, you can install in auto dealers locations and retail locations. Just make sure you check with your municipality in terms of what you need to be able to install the EV charging stations. A lot of upside potential in there, family. And once again, if we think larger, we can then make more money. But I understand you got to crawl before you walk. So the EV or electronic vehicle market is a dynamic place, a great opportunity for you. Now, let's talk about number 2, and these are in no particular order. And today we're talking about 3 emerging industries entrepreneurs can get rich in right now. All right, number 2 is online education or e-learning. Online education or e-learning. So as we know, guys, education is changing, especially when the pandemic hit. So the way people learn is changing, and also the way people want to learn is changing. So with college and student debt, right? I got 2 kids that are recently out of college. Luckily, we were blessed that they didn't have to take any loans. But when I got out of school, I had a ton of student debt. And so now people want to earn a living without having the weight of that debt on their shoulders. So a lot of people are foregoing traditional college and they're learning other ways. And all that does is open up opportunities for us. Okay, so let's look at some of the statistics. Okay, e-learning market is projected to grow globally to over 240 billion by 2022. Now, it's also expected to grow to 320 billion by 2025. So you're going from 240 billion with a B to 320 billion in a 3-year span. So once again, the e-learning industry has grown over 900% since 2000. So what does that mean? It's continuing to go in an uptrend, and it's not going to stop, guys. Also, mobile learning market, learning on your phone, right? That's expected to reach a $38 billion valuation by the end of 2021. Mobile learning. So we all have these little computers in our hand that we carry around every day. So a lot of stuff we do now is through what we call mobile learning or eCommerce or whatever, but it's the mobile aspect of it. Now, let's take a look at what's going on in this sector. So you have LinkedIn Learning, you have Udemy, and you have all types of different platforms that people teach stuff. Now, LinkedIn Learning is going in real heavy with this. Okay, and I'm going to talk about a sector, an opportunity, a specific niche in the e-learning that really isn't tapped into yet. So LinkedIn Learning is going in strong, right? Udemy, what that is, that's a marketplace where people who create courses connect with people who want to learn things. And so we're going to talk about something like that a little bit later. And so once again, the technology is great. It's for tutors, educators, and of course, entrepreneurs to reach a broader audience. So being successful requires the ability to provide the content and specialized instruction that students usually won't find for free or through other online resources. Now, I know most of you are going to say, man, you can find anything you want on YouTube. Yes, you can, for the most part. But what is the quality of that content? Is it any good? Does it have true value? So if you're going to create online education, there's certain things that you're going to need to create credibility and create value. So one of the things is teaching something very specific with a specific outcome. Something very specific, one thing, teaching something very specific with a specific outcome. All right. How to create a successful e-commerce business. All right. So you guys know I'm in online education, e-learning with the BEB Academy and all of my online courses and programs. I just think it's an amazing way to connect with people, help people solve a problem, move them from point A to point B, and create passive income. You create it one time, and now all you have to do is try to scale that. Okay, so one of the things is you can take your know-how and create that online learning content. And once again, it's a great way to create passive income. So here's one of the sectors in online learning that I think people are really missing out on. And it's creating content to sell to corporations or industries, such as training videos. So any of you guys who are a little bit older, you may have heard of a company called Fred Pryor Seminars or Career Track. Now, 20 years ago, they actually still do this now. They would actually have workshops and seminars live. They would be all over the country with all types of different trainers, and they would go to hotels and they would have all types of workshops and trainings for the corporate sector. And matter of fact, let me pull this up right now. I pulled up some of their content, which now they've moved online. So they have administrative assistant and front desk courses, front desk safety and security. I'm just reading some of these out. Business skills, achieving results without authority, how to bargain and negotiate with vendors and suppliers. They have business writing programs and courses, communication, management, and leadership. All of this type of training now that they used to do live through training workshops, now they're doing online. So there's a big market for companies that want to take their education online. So Fred Pryor Seminars and Career Track, that I think they actually merged. They were the biggest out there. They probably still are. Now, you can create products such as how to use software tutorials. So if you're good in a certain software that a company may need, say it's Excel, PowerPoint, whatever, you can create online tutorials and not just sell it to individuals. Now you're selling to corporations. Okay. And you know, if you worked in a corporation and you use a software, you have to pay licensing fees. So as opposed to selling one off, you may be able to sell your Excel tutorial to 300 people in this corporation. That's a lot of money. So don't sleep on that. How to master the art of customer service. That was actually one of the courses that the Fred Pryor Seminars has. So how to master the art of customer service. OSHA and OSHA safety. So all companies have to have those posters and everything up about OSHA safety. They have to have training on OSHA safety. So you could create an OSHA safety training program and sell that to companies all over the country. HR stuff. So if you're good in HR, you can create online education for that. You can do a crash course. This is actually straight from prior seminars. A crash course on first-time managers. So if you are a manager and you have somebody that's going to be a manager, a company would love that program. Crash course for first-time managers. And what it does, guys, is several things. So as opposed to somebody inside the company actually teaching this, you can actually onboard people with the online learning components. Now, you're probably asking yourself, man, how am I going to create this stuff? But there's software that I'm going to talk about and tools that I'm going to talk about that you can do it. And also, guys, just think about everything doesn't have to be studio quality in terms of the videos. You get yourself a nice background, you have a light, you have good quality audio, and now you can sell. And I'm just talking right now about selling to B2B, to corporations. That market is wide open, wide open. So if you have some type of learning content or component that can be beneficial to corporations, you need to market it to them. So let's talk about some of the tools and platforms. For all of my courses, well, first let me tell you this. Make sure, once again, guys, you sign up for the newsletter, because I'm going to give you a link in the newsletter to the Fred Pryor and Career Track link that has all of their corporate courses on there, and they may give you some ideas. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter to get that. So the software I use for all of my courses is called Thinkific, Thinkific. Once again, the link is in the notes, show notes. Okay. I use Thinkific. There's others out there called Teachable, some others platforms out there. I like Thinkific because I think it's more, it's easier for me to set up. I think it's very natural the way that the software works and how it flows. So I use Thinkific. And once again, you can have free courses, you can have paid courses, you can drip the courses out. I mean, you can do anything that you want. You can have subscriptions. So once again, if you're selling to corporations, every subscription or login, it could be, $100 for each subscription, and you create all your pricing. Thinkific does not take any of your money. Some of these platforms, these online learning platforms, they take a percentage of your sales. Thinkific doesn't take any percentage of your sales. So that's some of the software that you use. How to make money, guys? It's pretty simple. Create your own online courses, or you can create a school. That's what the BEB Academy is. The BEB Academy really is a school, and it's for people that are just starting a business or experienced entrepreneurs. And we focus on all types of things: marketing, eCommerce, finance, startup, everything. And so you can actually create a school. And don't be daunted by, man, how am I going to create this stuff? A lot of it, guys, is PowerPoints, and you're talking over PowerPoints. Or if you're teaching somebody a software tutorial, you do a screenshot of your screen while you're going through and teaching people stuff. So once again, guys, it's not that hard. Now, you can make money in this sector, but what I'll tell you is you need to niche it down and hone it in, because there's so much stuff out here, and you have to have the credibility for people to want to learn from you. All right. So once again, don't sleep on online education or e-learning. Big money out there. And once again, the trend is upward. It's not going to stop. No time soon. It's not going to stop. So remember, guys, like I said, I got a lot of links in here. So make sure you sign up for the BEB Lifestyle newsletter. Just go to BEB Connect, and you should see it at the top. Sign up for the newsletter, and all of the links and show notes every week are in there. So once again, it drops every Monday morning and Thursday morning, 2 times a week for the BEB newsletter. And number 3, last but not least, creating a two-sided marketplace or directory. Creating a two-sided marketplace or directory. So two-sided marketplaces are platforms that bring buyers and sellers together to create and exchange value. For example, sites such as Airbnb, Fiverr, eBay, Uber, HireBlackFreelancers.com, which is mine, and also BeSmartByBlack.com, which is mine. So this is a dual-sided marketplace. where you have producers and you have consumers and they come together. And so with Be Smart by Black, we have black product producers connecting with black consumers that want to buy black-owned products. With Hire Black Freelancers, the same thing. You have black freelancers that are looking to connect with black consumers and black businesses that want to hire black freelancers. So this is a two-sided marketplace. Now, we also have a directory format where people can sign up to be listed on a directory. Say it could be a directory of dentists in the city of Philadelphia, a directory of attorneys in the city of Los Angeles. So these are two-sided marketplaces or directories, and they're big out there. So let's take a look at some of the stats. The marketplace business has actually, in a short period of time, basically gone from 20 billion in 2014 to over 40 billion by 2022. So it's actually doubled in less than 10 years, which is crazy. In 8 years, it's doubled. And so that's no joke right there. So these type marketplaces, we become very familiar with them. You look at sites like Angie's List or Yelp, and those are actually more directories per se than a two-sided marketplace. And so with Angie's List, if you're looking for contractors or something, you go on Angie's List. You want to go to Yelp, once again, you're going to get reviews. What's this restaurant like? Oh, how did this plumber do? How was this attorney? So you're going to get more reviews. So some of the opportunities that we're looking at is probably going to be very hard to compete on a national level with places like Angie's List and stuff like that. But for a local directory, I think there's a lot of opportunity for local two-sided marketplaces and directories, and we're going to give some examples. So you could create plumbers in St. Louis, Missouri, dentists in St. Louis, Missouri, contractors in Chicago, Illinois. There's all types of different local marketplace directories or two-sided marketplaces that you can create that you don't have to deal or fight with the big national names like Angie's List and Yelp and things of that nature. And so one of the things is, I talked about this before, I have domains that I'm eventually going to work on for Philly Legal Hotline, New York Legal Hotline, LA Legal Hotline.com, which could be a directory type format where I can have lawyers of all types, be it accident lawyers, bankruptcy, whatever type of lawyers you want. I can have them listed on these different local websites. And so when you combine all of these local sites, now you're creating a conglomerate or you're building a bigger entity. And we're going to talk about that when I talk about how to make money in this industry. So you can also go for industry or sector directories. So one of my domain names and something I'm working on now is called minorityfranchisereport.com. So who's my target market? So the people that are going to subscribe to be on the Minority Franchise Report are the franchises, right? Now, who's going to look at that? This other side of the marketplace, minorities who are looking into buying franchises. So that's a dual-sided marketplace, but it could be in the membership form, or it could be like Airbnb, where there's transactions that take place. So Airbnb makes money several ways, by the transactions that are there and also listing or some of the listings. And so these type of businesses, the actual two-sided marketplace and directory businesses are huge, and you can niche it down any way that you want. All right. So here's the big issue, though, when it comes to a double-sided or two-sided marketplace. You have to have the actual people that are on the marketplace, and you have to have the other group that are looking for those people. And so it's almost like a chicken or the egg scenario. Who do I get first? So what I would recommend was to be able to get the providers, the service providers first, and then bring in the actual consumers or customers. All right. So with my marketplaces, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com, the difference or the benefit I had is I have a platform. And so I know that I have entrepreneurs and prospective entrepreneurs listening to the podcast. And so it just made sense for me to try to link, the black entrepreneurs and black freelancers with black consumers. It just made sense. And it's free to actually upload your information. This isn't even a money thing for me. It's about connecting black-owned businesses. It's about being able, like I always say, family, to build an economic power base by building and supporting black-owned businesses. But don't sleep on this marketplace thing here. So let me give you some software and some tools, and then I'm going to tell you how you can really blow this opportunity up money-wise. So software for a dual-sided marketplace. I use sharetribe.com for my two-sided marketplace. So BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com are on that platform. Now, for directories, I have Brilliant Directories. Once again, link will be in the show notes, and also eDirectory. I use BrilliantDirectories.com, but eDirectory is also a good alternative. But I like Brilliant Directories better because there's so many types of monetization aspects that you can use. So, for example, in addition to your listings, right, you can have placements of preferred partners, which will come up at the top. So when somebody's looking for whatever, a lawyer in Philadelphia, if you want to be a preferred partner, your information will come up to the top, so you can charge premium prices for that. So let me get into how you make money. So you want to find a niche or a marketplace and create a two-sided marketplace or a directory. And I think the directory concept is probably a little bit easier to start, because all you have to do to start off is find people that want to be listed in this specific directory. And you can go to specific industries. So for example, for dentists in LA, if I'm creating a membership site for dentists in Los Angeles, I can get a list of dentists through list companies, and I can actually market to them. One of the great things about this membership directory with Brilliant Directories and eDirectory is you can pre-populate the actual content. So if I bought a list of 1,000 dentists, I can actually pre-populate that into my membership directory, and I can say, hey, here's your listing right here on ladentist.com. If you want to have a premium listing, you pay for it. And they would go in themselves and they would find their listing. They'd add their contact information, whatever they want to do, and you set up the parameters of what they want. You can have like a free plan, which really doesn't show anything. You could have a second level plan and then a high level plan. And what you do is you charge them for the different types of plans. So the free plan may just have their name of their business. The mid-level plan may have the name of the business, email, contact information, and little more stuff. The third level, the high end, you can actually give them leads. So with Brilliant Directories and eDirectory, you can create a lead generation site with this. So if somebody is looking for a dentist in LA and they're going through your directory and they see somebody, and they can actually click on there and request more information, and that lead would go directly to that dentist. So in addition to making money for the listings, you can also sell the leads. And to me, I think that's probably the easiest concept, or easier concept, as opposed to the dual or two-sided marketplace where you have to focus on generating both sides of the equation to make it even worthwhile. Now, let's look at some numbers real quick. And once again, these are just made up numbers, but I'm just going to give you an idea. So say you have the ladentist.com, right? So what happens if you charge $100 per month for a dentist, or if you want to give them a discount for annual, $9.99 a year? So if you do $100 a month and they're getting traction, remember, dentists going to make a ton of money. I don't care if it's teeth cleaning, extraction, braces, or whatever. So you have to look at the industry. Is it worthwhile for that type of service provider to spend $100 a month? And for dentists, obviously. So if you have $100 a month per dentist and you get 100 dentists, now it's not going to happen overnight. That's actually a $10,000 a month business. Now, the beauty to this type of business, guys, is you can build an inside sales team that actually calls on the list of dentists that you purchased and tries to upsell them to go onto their listing on the site. Hey, you got a free listing on the site, but if you want this other functionality where you can get leads, people can reach out to you directly, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars per month. Now, think of the concept and think larger. So you have LADentist.com. You have an inside sales team. What happens if you go to Sacramento? Dentist.com, San Diego Dentist.com. Anywhere in the state of California or anywhere in the country, you can literally grow and scale this type of business with inside sales. And once again, now, what you're going to have to do, though, you're going to have to market that site. So when the dentists go on and they're like, yeah, I want to be a member of LADentist.com, how are you marketing it? So you need to make sure that you're marketing that site so the dentists get some type of response and a positive return on investment. So when you have a two-sided marketplace or membership, those are things that you're going to have to focus on. You're going to have to focus on getting members, and you're going to have to focus on getting the consumers to be able to tap in to find that site, to use the site. But that's how you make money with this. Now, before we get to the last quarter of the show, let me share my social media contact information and my resource links. So I started off the show, guys. I mentioned my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. You can go to anewblackwallstreet.com, pick yourself up a copy, print version $14.95, digital version $9.95. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, my new flagship program is up. Brand Builder Academy Elite, BBAElite.com. It is a 15-week implementation program that takes you from ideation to product creation all the way to selling on your own sites and other sites. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a physical product or a digital products brand. Go to BBAElite.com. Use the coupon code BBAElite100 to save $100. Also, I mentioned at the top of the show, my two platforms I created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide black economy, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. Now, if you're a black product producer and you want to sell your products to black consumers worldwide, upload your product information. It is free to BeSmartByBlack.com. Now, I didn't forget about you freelancers. If you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, upload your information to HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, blackfreelancers.com. Once again, it is free, and you can connect with black consumers and black businesses that want to hire black freelancers. I know that's a mouthful, but you can just go to BEBconnect.com. Everything that I just said and what I'm about to say is going to be on BEBconnect.com, which takes you to a page on my website and will have all of these links. Now, if you want to reach out to me, anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, Twitter, jjones001, JAYJONES001, Instagram, I got 2 IG accounts. My main account is jjones for real, JAYJONES 4 REAL. Also, connect with me on my IG at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, family, make sure you go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit that subscribe button. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the show. And yes, the show does come out on YouTube every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with coming out on all your major podcast platforms. Let me see. LinkedIn. Make sure you connect with me. LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, if you're on Clubhouse, get at me at I am J Jones, at I am J Jones. Once again, family, go to BEB Connect and you'll have all the links to this. Can't wait till the new website comes out in about 2 weeks. We're not even going to have to do all of this anymore. All right, let's get back to the end of the show. So these are 3 emerging industries that I think we can take advantage of, guys, as we move forward. Once again, I want to reiterate, let's not just be at the forefront when it comes to entertainment and athletics. Let's be at the forefront when it comes to entrepreneurship and building generational wealth. So once again, we have the electronic vehicle market. The EV market is wide open, guys. It's wide open. It's really in its infancy. And if you can get a government contract, or if you start small and you start installing residential charging stations, that's a great way to start. Once again, you gotta crawl before you walk sometimes, but don't sleep on thinking big. So if you're in an area where you own a parking lot, or there's a place to build a parking lot and you can run electricity to it, that's a great place to create an EV charging station. If you want to work with retailers that know that eventually they're going to have all of these charging stations out, that's another way to start. Also, I mentioned the dealership programs available where you can partner up with manufacturers and become a dealer. So the EV marketplace, that's number one. Number two, the online educational, the e-learning component. Now you can create e-courses yourself, and you can sell directly to consumers, which a lot of people do. So if you have an expertise in something, then you can teach other people something. And don't sleep on what people will pay for in terms of what you're teaching. There are people making money teaching all kinds of stuff: crochet, knitting, sewing, all types of things. So don't sleep on that. So also there's the B2B market where you create content and online learning content that you can sell to corporations. Now, the magnitude of that is you can sell exponential numbers of licenses. So if there's a company that has 500 members and they all need OSHA training, which you have to go through when you get onboarded to companies, that's a great marketplace. If there's a company that's an inside sales company, you could create training videos for inside salespeople. If you know how to do a software, work a software, create videos and tutorials and trainings for specific software. So these are the type of opportunities that are available with online education and e-learning. And once again, once you create the product, guys, then you can continue to sell it until you have to update it. But that's where the passive income stream comes along. Matter of fact, one of my cousins was telling me about a job opportunity that he had for some type of online learning company that dealt with corporations. And his job was to go around to different businesses and to sell these licenses to this online training. And I forgot the name of the company, but he said, man, they're doing like a couple $100 million a year. And so it's a company that I've never heard of. So that just goes to show, not that I know everything, but that just goes to show that there's opportunity out there. So if you have some online or training components for sales, all companies need sales, right? And you create some type of specific online e-learning component that you can sell to companies, man, or you can niche it down to industries. Sales for exterminators, now you're selling to all these exterminators. So you can niche it down, but don't sleep on the B2B component of online courses. All you hear these quote unquote gurus talking about is business to consumer, trying to sell to individuals, but don't sleep on selling B2B. And number three, we talked about the two-sided marketplace or the directory. And don't sleep on this one because this is very scalable. Very easily scalable. I told you guys before, I think the two-sided marketplace is a little harder to start. It's the chicken or the egg. But the directory component, I think, is a little easier to start. And you can start with locality. You want to niche it down. It's going to be very hard to compete nationwide. But you can grow and scale by going from city to city to city. As I gave you the example of the ladentist.com. This is something I just made up. Somebody probably already has that domain, but you understand what I'm saying. So you either have to niche it down by vertical, which could be by profession, doctors, lawyers, black lawyers, black podcasters, whatever. You can niche it down by that, or you can niche it down by locality, where you're located. And I think the directory aspect, especially if it's a directory that you can buy a list of people that you can import. So if you're an attorney, they have list of attorneys, people that passed the bar exam. If you're a dentist, they're going to have list of people that are dentists. Okay. So think about it like that, which makes sense. So my minority franchise report.com, right? I can buy a list, and I've already bought it, of franchise companies that sell franchises. So you got your Jiffy Lube, your Chick-fil-A, your Pizza Huts, Papa, all of that other stuff. Very easy to find that. Now, what do franchises want to do? They want to sell more franchises, right? What's big out going on right now? Diversity and inclusion, right? So now when I talk to the franchise directors and I say, hey, I have a minority franchise report website and email database that if you have a program for minorities to get into your franchise, why wouldn't you want to be on this list? Why wouldn't you want to be in this directory? So it fulfills two things. Number one, hey, we're out there, doing outreach for minorities to get into our franchise. And number two, it gives them the ability to connect with minorities that want to be in the franchise business. It's a win-win situation. You also have to think about how much money in a directory kind of component, how much money are they willing to spend? Franchise companies make millions of dollars, right? So my listings are going to start at $1,400, $1,500 a year, $1,900. I got it broken down. I think my highest, it's $2,900 a year, which is nothing for them. So just think, if I do $2,900 a year and I do 100 franchises, that's good money, right? Yeah. So that's what you have to think about. Think about the benefit, and can the people pay? Are they ready, willing, and able to pay to be in your membership? Now, with the two-sided marketplace, most times you get the transaction fee. So when somebody buys from somebody, you create the transaction fee percentage. So it could be 20%. Okay, so you have to figure out how you're going to monetize that. And I probably will do a show solely on two-sided marketplaces and directories because I think this is a marketplace or vertical that has tremendous upside. All right, we about to close it on out, family. Once again, please, guys, continue to spread the word about BEB, the podcast, the blog, and the movement. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Once again, I want to thank all the BEB family. Please continue to share the links and everything with the BEB ecosystem. We continue to get more and more downloads each and every week, and that's because of you, the BEB family. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.